Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time for the student to become the master. That's right, we're going over Awakened Dragon Akstar in the Neovision Awakening for Pyroglacial Lasswell today. And we're going to touch on Shinju in the free unit, Stylish Steward as well. Thank you guys for that time here again, as well as the support. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there and having fun. And let's go over Awakened Dragon Akstar. Possibly one of the most look forward to, because Akstar also at the same time probably one of the least powerful base Neovision characters in the game. Let's go over why you may want to skip on him, or why fans of you guys out there may want to be pulling on him. What can he do for you? So let's go over his true TMR, his Trust Master reward here. Awakened Dragon. It's going to be a materia, 60% attack, 25% human, 25% dragon killer. So it's pretty decent. Unconditional attack, a little bit of killer there, but nothing super exceptional, because we have killers that have 50%, 75% killers, 100% killers out there in the Super Trust Master realm. Now, speaking of his STMR as well, it's the Novus Ember. All right, it's going to be a one-handed katana, 182 attack, and it has the effect of Secret Blade Art, which is going to give you 50% true dual wield, which is pretty typical for a Trust Master reward, or of a Super Trust Master weapon. It also gives you 50% true double hand though, which is a huge trap. Do not true double hand this weapon. It's a one-handed weapon. You want to use a two-handed weapon when true double handing for that weapon variance. Get that extra, 30% damage bonus from a two-handed weapon variance. Now, his vision card is Guiding the Youth, which we have seen before. It's very similar to the FF7 Cloud card, Mad Dash. This one gives you 100 attack added to your base attack stats at level 10. It also gives you two abilities, 50% attack when equipped with a katana at level 3 and 7, and then it will give you 20% attack when equipped to a Final Fantasy Brave Exvius cast character. So pretty strong vision card for katana wearers out there, which is probably a good reason to pick up Awakened Dragon Akstar if you're someone out there who wants to collect vision cards for the different weapon types that are available to you. So his Brave Shift is available on turn 1, and it lasts an infinite amount of turns, so you can go in there, you can safely just sit in your Brave Shift form if you want to. If you want to leave though, you will incur a 2-turn cooldown to go back into normal form, and then you will have to wait an additional 3 turns to go back into Brave Shift form there. His weapon selection, katanas obviously, but he also can wear swords, great swords, and daggers. Now let's go over his normal form skills here. So he has Lethal Mind, which is going to be actually pretty interesting. One of the most unique things that he has access to. Physical damage, very low mod of 1.0, but it increases damage dealt to the break gauge when equipped with katanas, if the enemy is also weak to katana. This will help out a ton if they're weak to katanas. You can get at that break gauge. Obviously, you don't need something like this. You can go in there and do what we've been doing. Use Mastermind Zahn or White Mage Rosa. Anyone with a barrage-style skill, you can go in there and handle the break gauge that way right now. But this is another way for you guys to tackle it there. He also has Dragon Strike for 100% Dragon Killer for himself for 5 turns, attached to an Absolute Mirror of Equity skill. Whirl of Blizzards here is going to be an Ice Imbue for 5 turns to himself with an Absolute Mirror of Equity 20 times mod skill there. Then his first Brave ability here at level 5, you will have Destructive Blade Glacial Fissure. 10% of the time, it's just going to be a 54 times mod with 120% Ice Imperil. 90% of the time, though, it's going to be a 54 times mod with a guaranteed critical hit, so this is going to give you 50% bonus damage. So it's going to basically be the equivalent of a 76, a little over that times multiplier there for you guys. So it's going to get an additional 27 mod on top of that. So a little bit over 81-ish times mod, if I did that math correctly, as I'm just sitting here looking 54 divided by 2, add that together, good to go. All right, 81 times mod. Now, it also has 120% Ice Imperil on top of that. So you're looking at like an 81 times mod on demand here with this skill. He has base triple cast, including the skills we just talked about, pretty much all of his skills. We also have Raining Blade Nation Division here, 35 times mod. At level 5, it also gives you a 300% attack bonus for 5 turns to the caster. This is his second Brave ability. Revived Blade Reverse Strike here is a Grandis ability, 2 uses per battle. 80 times mod, recovers 450 MP. Guiding Mirror of Equity is a 2-turn cooldown on turn 2. 10 times mod in the first 7 hits, 60 times mod for that final hit. And finally, we have Selfless Patience here. 5-turn cooldown, ladies and gentlemen. Available on turn 1. And look at this amazing ability. Cures attack break to the caster and increases your spirit by 250% for 99,909. I don't think I've seen a stronger cooldown ability in my life. This is 2020. He's here. He's ready, dude. He's going out. No sickness for this man. Clears that attack break and gets that spirit buff. What an amazing cooldown skill there. Actually, you know, hopefully you can understand sarcasm when you hear it. This skill's pretty trash. All right, it's pretty trash. His base form here is true double hand, so you're gonna want to equip a two-handed weapon to him. He does have 200% TDH on his passives here. He's immune to you know, paralysis, sleep, petrification, you know, blind for some reason. He has ice resistance, has 100% dragon killer, but outside of that, you know, you have your base attack, defense, magic, spirit sort of buffs here, MP buffs. So he's got a fair amount of attack, but nothing super crazy. He also does get 50% HP and attack when equipped with katana, so he's a katana man. His LB here, the CG one, subjection to equity, hidden blade, 125 times multiplier to all enemies, 9 hits there. All in all, very boring character, and really not all that great, especially if you go and compare him, like we said, name title of the video, to our new Pyroglacial Lasswell friend. But that's only half his form, right? So let's see what his Brave Shift form does here. Same sort of stuff. Lethal Mind, the katana, a break gauge increaser, Ice General's Blade for the human killer buff this time instead of the dragon killer buff. So that's a big plus there on his Brave Shift form. Discipled or Disciplined Blade, not Discipled Blade. But now we have Disciplined Blade, a grave result. So this is going to be his strongest skill, but it is Ice Lock. So it's Ice Physical Damage 8 times mod in the first 7 hits. That final hit there is going to be Ice Physical Damage 27 times mod with Ignore, 50% defense. So it's going to be 54 on that back end there, plus 8. So looking at a 62 times multiplier there, which you might say, that sounds weaker than his other skills. But if you look after his triple cast, after this Raining Blade he still has, after Death Blade, Falling Star, he has a culmination of destruction here, which is 1 use per battle. Unique on multicast here, but it's going to give you a 99,999 turn buff, 3 of them. It's going to increase your ice damage dealt, both physical and magical damage, by 15% for 9,999 turns. It also is going to give a 10 times multiplier to a bunch of his skills here, but most importantly, it's going to give a 10 times multiplier to that Disciplined Blade skill, which is going to increase that skill by an additional 30 times multiplier because it's a front-loaded, back-loaded skill, and the back-loaded part has Ignore 50% defense on it. So you're going to go all the way up into the 90s for the multiplier on that skill right there. So very strong, 92 times mod. Ice Locked, though, keep that in mind. He still maintains the Raining Blade Nation Division here for that 300% attack buff. Then he has Death Blade, Falling, Starfrost. Who comes up with these names sometimes? But it's going to be 1 use per battle, unique on multicast selection here. Ice Physical Damage, 65 times mod with Ignore, 50% defense. So it's going to be base 130 times mod nuke there. Also absolute mirror of equity, just like all of his skills are that are chaining skills. All absolute mirror of equity. Then we have Frozen Blade of Imperial Ruin. This is going to give you a 3-turn cooldown skill available on turn 3, 72 times ice physical damage mod. That unlocks the Frozen Blade of Imperial Ruin 2 for you to use. So let's go check that out real quick. This one's going to be a 78 times mod, absolute mirror of equity skill that unlocks the Edge of Imperial Ruin, which is going to be a, you've guessed it, a buff. So it's going to give you a 15% ice physical magical damage buff. Again, this does not stack with his other one, but it also is going to give you an additional 10 times multiplier buff to all the skills aforementioned. So you can go in there and buff up once again Disciplined Blade, Grave Result, an additional 30 times mod there. So you get to the 120s, but that's going to take you a while to get up in there. The sad thing about this side of his kit, though, is that he is built around True Dual Wield. He has 150% True Dual Wield, all that great stuff. He has base Dual Wield. He does not have the 6 times multiplier cap, though. So, which means that if you effectively want to use this guy in the best way possible, you actually want to use him True Double Hand, but you need a ton of gear to maximize the damage he has because there's no 6 times multiplier cap, so you're looking for damage variance bonuses. So you need, Cloud, Super Trustmaster Ward, TDH Sword, maybe a Buster Style here or there. It's a bunch of crazy stuff and a good two-handed katana. His LB here is the Stellar Zenith Astral Cross. I feel like I'm reading titles of video games right now. It's 5 times mod in the first 23 hits, and that final 4 hits is a 93 times mod. So all in all, 98 mod with a 120% ice imperil. So all in all, Akstar, he's cool. He's definitely one of the most boring Neovision characters that we have. We have a bunch of available characters for you guys to awaken from Neovision bases, or not Neovision bases, but from 5-star bases up to Neovision tiers. Now and both into the future. If you want to see all those future ones, make sure you check out the video I put out yesterday. But continuing on, a character that was actually in that list is Pyroglacial Lasswell. If you need a chainer, this old 5-star base is going to be your best friend coming into the Neovision era. We already have a very solid burst damage dealer with Tifa. This is going to allow you guys right here, Pyroglacial Lasswell, to have a very self-sufficient and very strong true dual wield chainer. So he still has the equipment selection of swords, great swords, and katanas, and his normal form is going to get some cool stuff here. So we have Mirror of Equity Totality, 2 uses per battle, unique selection on multicast. This is his Grandis ability here. It's going to do an 80% defense break for you guys, and it's also going to be a 40 times mod with ignore 50% defense. It's also going to be an 80 times mod, also absolute Mirror of Equity. So break on demand attached to an 80 times mod. That's excellent. We also have Blade Flash Revelation here. Physical damage, 49 times mod with ignore 50% defense. Just right off the gate. None of this jumping around that you have to do with Awakened Dragoon Akstar or Awakened Dragon Akstar. Lasswell just has 98 times mod with 120% fire and ice and peril. This is his Brave ability, so if you want it to be that strong, you are going to have to level it to level 5, so make sure you do that. He also comes with base triple cast, ready to go there. And then he has the other Brave ability here, Burning Soul Edge, 60 times mod, absolute Mirror of Equity, but it fills your LB gauge by 6 each cast. So if you cast this 3 times, it's going to give you 18 LB gauge crystals, which is a very unique effect with his Brave Shift form, so keep that in mind as well. He also gains some passives here for you guys in his Neovision form. Define the Bloodline Feuds for some defense and spirit, as well as some MP refresh per turn. And then Invested Training here is the passive that you can level up with this Brave ability, taking this all the way to level 5. 200 extra MP. This is going to add some multipliers to his older skills, like Absolute Mirror of Equity, the Obliterate Mirror of Equity, +2s, all of that stuff. But honestly, none of that stuff really is that strong. A lot of you guys out there might even just skip over this entirely, unless you want that MP up, because these old skills, even the Awakened ones, right? 15 times mod on Absolute Mirror of Equity and Obliterating Mirror of Equity. I mean, this is still going to be like, what is this? It's just not enough. It's an additional 30 mod on top of a 12 mod, so 42 times mod. That just is, it pales in comparison to his new 98 times mod skills. Definitely his weakest Brave ability to be working on. He also does get 150% Dragon Killer, though, from just being a Neovision character with the true air of Hess, as well as 40% attack, defense, magic, HP, and MP. In spirit. So let's check out his Brave Shift form real quick. Oh, hold up. Boop, 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 boop. His LB, just in case. Still trash in his base form. Still not that good. All right, still not that good. But let's check out his Brave form as well. His Brave Shift form comes in, still keeps the Burning Soul ability here with the 6 LB cage crystals per turn with absolute Mirror of Equity. Still has triple cast. Now he has Fatal Bloom Plus, which is ice physical damage, 96 times multiplier here. So this is very strong in his Brave Shift form. It's a little bit weaker, I guess you could say, especially because of the Ice Lock and the ability that he has in his normal form. Remember, his normal form has this nice 98 on demand, whereas this one is a 96 Ice Locked. So this one's actually weaker than his normal form skill. We also have Hail Storm Edge here, 120 times mod ice damage with a 150% LB damage buff. Very nice. It's also available 1 time per battle, so it's his Grandis ability in this form. We have Complete Awakening Pyroglacial, 300% attack bonus, cooldown skill available right away on turn 1, 5-turn cooldown skill. Also gives you 100 MP per turn for 4 turns there. Mirror of Equity Ice Fog, I almost said Frog, 60 times mod, Absolute Mirror of Equity, Ice Imbue. And we have Icicle Edge here, 25 times mod, that hits 2 times. I know it's like a weird mini barrage skill. I guess it's there. I guess they put it in there to help you do break gauge, I guess. And then finally, last but not least, his LB here, the Ultramarine Freeze. Nice physical damage, 130 times multiplier there. Now remember, you can fill up your LB gauge a little bit here. It does cost 48 crystals in this form as well. So he can help you fill that up. He does have 6 times mod cap true dual wield in both forms, so he's fantastic that way. Very easy to use. Put 2 different weapons on him. Good item world rolls. get in there, run around, do good stuff. He has 100% true dual wield in this form. He's got 6 times mod cap in both forms. So you can get in there. If you want a strong chainer, he has that for you with his absolute mirror of equity chaining skills. He's not necessarily ice locked. He's only ice locked in his second form, but his base form is still incredibly powerful. 98 times mod, got 80% defense break for you, and like his base form, still has the 6 times mod cap. So you're good to go there. He only has 40% dual wielding though, so you need some true dual wield gear to help him out there in his base form. Definitely need to help him out with that true dual wield in his base form. But other than that, if you can get that true dual wield gear, you know, get some Hermes sandals, things like that. Maybe even go as far as using the old Radiant Lightning Super Trust Master Award. Any sort of weapon that has true dual wield on it, any sort of accessory or material that has true dual wield on it. Dual form from Radiant Lightning, her TMR. Very fantastic selection of choices for you to use there. So he's a very good chainer. He also has the ability to do pretty high damage with his LB. Not as much as Tifa, right? Because Tifa's got a 250% LB damage buff and a 160 times LB damage mod. He's got a 130 LB damage mod and a 150% buff. So he still hits really hard and he chains like crazy. So very strong character for you guys. Now let's talk about Shinju real quick as a character. Not really worth using in comparison to any of the NV characters that are out right now. If you do get her, you're looking at a, you know, just a character with the old traditional mods. But I do want to touch on her STMR real quick. The Steward Spumps here. Very nice, flexible accessory, the STMR, if you get your hands on this. 55 flat attack and 50% attack. So this is going to be an accessory that you can utilize to help you get that high raw attack in your accessory slot, as well as get that 50% attack. This could be something that you could use. I'm not saying go out of the way and get it, but I just want to talk about it just because it has that use where you can get that percentage attack cap and have it slots in really nice for any sort of physical damage dealer. Then you can use your materia slots. Instead of using your materia slots for additional attack percent, you can use your materia slots for 50% LB damage. You can use your materia slots for 50 to 100% killers, things of that nature. I gotta get away from that. I gotta get away from saying things of that nature. It's my filler word now. I used to use it every once in a while, and I just say it all the time. I apologize. I deeply apologize. Anyway, let's get in here. Stylish Steward John Cena, as you can see here. This is going to be the free unit. Pretty cool character out there, especially if you're a newer player. This might be one of the easier ways for you to get a dodge, draw attack tank in the game, actually. So let's talk about him. So his TMR is so cute, it's criminal. 40% attack, but most importantly, 20% draw attacks is something that you're going to probably want to put on this unit here. His STMR is the Rasp Barrel. Keep your eyes on the prize, a 152 attack throwing weapon that gives you 50% bird, human, dragon, and plant killer as well. So also a pretty fantastic throwing weapon, especially if you're going up with those enemy types there. So definitely pick that up as well. You get that from grinding the event. Now let's take a look at his kit real quick. We have Beaten Wallop attack and magic, 70% attack break, and the attack break Beaten Wallop. The magic one obviously does a magic break for you. All of his skills that do damage here, they're all chaining absolute mirror of equity. He has the ability to put up 2 stacks of Mirage for himself, and basically he's going to attack and magic break and put up Mirage for himself here. He does have double throw, so you get those attack breaks very strong. If you don't have a breaker yet, you missed Reno, he can do attack and magic break for you real well there. Now, he also has Sleep with the Fishies, the old Fishy Sleep. 8-turn cooldown available on turn 1, removes all buffs from an enemy. So very strong cooldown skill as well, especially if you're a newer player going through trials. You'll eventually get into a battle where you have all your good debuffs up. You're like, I'm going to take this guy down, and then the enemy is going to put a whole bunch of buffs on themselves, and you're going to be like, crap. Now I need to dispel them, and now when I dispel them, not only are all of his bad things that I want gone, all of the things that I put on him that I want to have there are gone as well. This solves that for you because it removes only buffs, and it'll leave all your negative stuff on the enemy for you. So very strong stuff there. But he also has some unique aspects here. So he does have Hired Hitman, which is an 80% attack and magic break for 1 turn to all enemies. When does this proc though? It procs as a counter attack. And if you look at his passives, he does have actually the 50% draw attacks here and 20% dodge. So, you know, 50% passive, put his TMR on him. You have 70%, so if you get 30% extra draw attacks from somewhere else, You can get up to 100% draw attacks. He's got a little bit of evasion as well. So good. If you gear him for, 100% draw attacks, 100% evasion, he can be your attack and magic breaker. He has 1,000 ways to attack and magic break. And make him do things for you that way. So a little interesting character, often overlooked. Not saying he's like the new meta broken or anything, but you can definitely do some cool stuff with stylish Steward Pinocchio is what I'm going to call him. Stylish Steward Pinocchio there for you newer players in there. He might be your first line of attack when it comes to building a draw attack provoke character who are very strong in FFBE. So that's good. That's going to be it. Awakened Dragon Akstar, Pyroglacial Lasswell. Lasswell's actually the teacher now, and not the student. Awakened Dragon Akstar looking a little bit, like he needs to wake up in the Neo Vision era. Anyways, guys, hopefully you had a good time out there. Stay safe. Thanks for watching the video, and until the next one, guys, I'll see you. Bye.